like to tell you a little bit about what we learned about the power of love and money among young adults during COVID-19. I'm Dr. Joyce Serido, a professor emerita in family social science at the University of Minnesota and the parent of young adults. My colleagues and I set out to answer 3 questions. What did we want to learn? We wanted to know if the financial stress during COVID-19 lowered young adults' financial well-being. Was their view of the future also lower? And did family support help or hurt? Family support comes in many shapes and sizes. In this study, we looked at 2 specific types: emotional support and financial support. Family emotional support refers to a feeling of love, empathy, warmth, and concern from parents and close friends, and it's usually very helpful. Parental financial or tangible assistance from parents to young adults is becoming more common, although we know much less about its effects. So who did we study? Between July and September of 2020, we conducted an online survey collecting data from more than 2,000 young adults from 6 countries: China, Italy, Lithuania, Portugal, Slovenia, and the US, all between the ages of 18 and 30. Most of them identified as female. More than half lived at home with their parents during the pandemic, and slightly more than half were employed. How do we assess the impact and the effects of the support? We used 5 measures in this study that included financial stress, view of the future, financial well-being, parental financial support, and family emotional support. What connections did we consider? We first looked at the direct associations between financial stress and each of the 2 outcomes using a path analysis model. As to our first question, higher levels of financial stress were indeed associated with lower levels of financial well-being. As to our second question, higher levels of financial stress were also associated with a more negative view of the future. And what about family support? What did we learn? We learned that family emotional support had a positive association with financial well-being, but it wasn't enough to offset the impact of COVID-19. Family emotional support also had a positive association with a view of the future, and in this case, it did buffer the effect of financial impact of COVID, but only when the financial impact was low or moderate. And parental financial support? That had a negative association with financial well-being and little effect on view of the future. It is worth noting that the fallout from the pandemic was especially disruptive for young adults compared to other age groups, including greater psychological distress, more financial disruptions, and higher rates of unemployment. And young adults were also more likely to experience greater anxiety regarding the pandemic-related effects on their education, their careers, and their financial situation. What to make of the findings? The relationship between contemporary young adults and their parents is more interdependent than previous generations. More young adults are living at home. Many provide instrumental support to parents, including in-home care and in some cases financial support. And by many accounts, both parents and their young adult children find this relationship beneficial. So in this context, while young adults may have been less susceptible to the health concerns of COVID, they may have been more concerned about the health and well-being of their aging parents, and that indeed added to their concerns about the future and their own finances. As a point of intervention, our findings provide further testimony to the benefit of supportive relationships over other types of assistance, even in extreme circumstances. Although there are still unanswered questions, our findings highlight the need for outreach and education to assist families and young adults cope with the ups and downs of life. It may be beneficial for practitioners and educators to coach caregivers and parents as to how to provide emotional support, in addition to, even instead of financial support. What could that look like? Pointing out that many young adults struggle when they are first starting out, instead of blaming, will be helpful. Assuring them that they will figure it out in time and with practice is also helpful. And possibly suggesting resources that they can use to explore options to give them some guidance so they can move forward. Our study setting is an extreme case, yet the current reality is one of change and uncertainty, highlighting the need for ways to strengthen intergenerational connections for all families. Thank you.